What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports here to give you the edge for this Cardinals vs. Titans showdown slate on DraftKings. Cannot wait to break it down. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NFL content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.dgfantasy.com. On dgfantasy.com, we give you cheat sheets for every major sport, along with ownership projections, actual projections, and strategy for every single slate. We also cover optimal cash plays as well as preferred GPP plays and stacks for specific contest sizes. We do the dirty work for you. We are also currently partnered with Fantasy Cruncher, the best optimizer in the industry. When signing up for our $30 package, you also get a $20 credit to use towards any Fantasy Cruncher product. We provide the best value in the industry. But now let's go ahead and dive right into this NFL slate on DraftKings. But first, I want to go over and give a huge shout out to PrizePicks, one of our biggest partners. If you guys enter code using DGF, you get a 100% match up to $100, one of the easiest ways to play DFS today. You simply hit the over or under on certain fantasy projections or player props. Right now, they're offering a 95% off coupon for Patrick Mahomes. If you think he's going to hit over 0.5 pass yards, there's a free entry for you. So I do recommend hitting the over on that. I believe you have 40 hours to do so. Again, enter code using DGF for 100% matchup to $100. We'll be giving away free prize pick entries every single slate, every single breakdown that we have. So I'll be giving away another prize pick entry at the very end of this video. All you have to do is max enter 2 people for you to complete an entry on prize picks. So hit the Patrick Mahomes pass yards over 5 and then follow up with my favorite entry at the very end of this video. All right, now let's go ahead and focus on this slate from a DraftKings perspective. We have a matchup here, excuse me, between the Arizona Cardinals and Tennessee Titans. Right now, the over-under is a 52. So right off the bat, I'm not going to recommend defenses and kickers as a last piece. Usually in higher scoring games, we never see the defense make the optimal, and we rarely see defenses make the optimal in general. Tennessee right now is the slight favorite here at a -3 spread, so this should be a very competitive shootout type game. So let's start out on the Arizona Cardinals side of things here with the quarterback position. I'm going to go position by position because honestly that's the easiest way for me to do it. Let's start out with Kyler Murray. Right now we don't have ownership projections, but we generally do. And also we provide ownership projections, actual projections on our website. If you guys want to sign up for a membership, let's go ahead and give $3 off if you guys enter code using Titans for a $3 off coupon. Again, we provide ownership projections, actual projections, and also a $20 voucher to any Fantasy Cruncher product, which is something we recommended here on the screen. I always use Fantasy Cruncher, one of the easiest optimizers to use. So enter code using Titans for $3 off any product. Just made that up off the top of my head. I'll go ahead and enter the code into my website here in a little bit. Starting out here at the quarterback position is going to be Kyler Murray. We don't have ownerships yet for you, like I said, but he's going to be one of the highest owned quarterbacks here on this slate. If you guys are playing cash games, don't miss out on him. He has some rushing upside as well. So Kyler Murray, go ahead and lock him in for cash games. Switching over to the running back picture here, we have Chase Edmonds and James Conner here, probably going to be a 60-40 or a 50-50 share. I'm going to be taking a look here at the snap counts from last season on what the Cardinals did with the running back picture. So if we take a look here, Chase Edmonds did play 61, 37, 45, 37% of snaps. And if you guys look here, week 9 did play 96, but I'm assuming because the backup running back was out with an injury. And if we go down here to the next running back in the picture here, Kenyon Drake was on the field for 40% of snaps, 68, 67, 65, and he was the primary back. So let's kind of decipher that and see what the Cardinals are probably going to do with this running back picture. I think Chase Edmonds is going to be on the field for a majority of the plays in terms of running backs, just because it looks like that's what they did last season. So I'm expecting about a 60-40 split between him and James Conner. That being said, at $7,800, not a huge fan of Chase Edmonds, at least in cash and small GPPs. James Conner, you can probably take a little bit more of a stab on because he gives you that flexibility of $5,000. And then Eno Benjamin might not see the field. Right now, he's projected for 1.13 points. So I do prefer Chase Edmonds, but at a price tag at $7,800, I don't think he's a must in cash games. Switching over to the wide receiver picture, again, we're going to be looking back at the snap counts for all of these wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins was on the field virtually the entire game for these guys all season long. Really no surprise there. And then we have Larry Fitz, looks like 79, 61, 80, 93%. So he's on the field for about 80% of the time that the Cardinals are out there. Keep in mind, Larry Fitz no longer plays for the team. So we're going to be looking for a substitute at the wide receiver position here as we go back to the DraftKings board. Christian Kirk still on the team, 79, 81, 59, 63. Played a little bit less than Larry Fitzgerald, but still on the field for a majority of the snaps. So you love to see that. And then it looks like there's a huge drop-off. Isabella here, 18, 17, 40, 42, 31, 31, 50. Looks like he's on the field for about 31% of the snaps. And then going all the way down here, Keyshawn Johnson really not on the field at all. So looking at the board here, we're now going to substitute AJ Green for Larry Fitzgerald. And if we take a look at the actual Arizona depth chart, Christian Kirk is in front of AJ Green. So Christian Kirk should be on the field for about 70 to 80% of the snaps, AJ Green about 60 to 70%. So when you translate that to a value perspective, yes, DeAndre Hopkins will probably carry ownership just given the name alone. 10K is a little bit too pricey for me, but I don't mind him in cash. Like I said, ownership wise, he should be cash viable. And then Christian Kirk at $6,600, I think presents one of the better values here at the wide receiver position. Same thing with AJ Green at $5,600. I definitely think you can consider them as salary savers for cash games, but I'm not on guys like Rondell Moore and Isabella. Like Rondell Moore, I'd rather pay up for AJ Green at $5,600 or Christian Kirk, who are probably going to see the field a lot more than Rondell Moore at $4,200. Now, keep in mind, all these guys are definitely in play when taking a look at GBPs because if you guys have looked at our showdown strategy video, by the way, highly recommend you do that. I will link it up in the eye. We always put a wide receiver in the captain spot or a running back in the captain spot, followed up and pairing with the quarterback, especially if the running back is a catching back out of the backfield. It increases your upside and bigger GBPs. Always, always, always do that. So yeah, to kind of recap here, I do like Christian Kirk and AJ Green for salary savers. I think they will carry a little bit lower ownership than DeAndre Hopkins and make for a very good pivot here. And Christian Kirk showed flashes of greatness last season in this offense. Switching over to the tight end position, I love the tight end picture here for the Arizona Cardinals. I, again, will switch over to the snap counts here. But before we do that, Darrell Daniels was limited at practice. We don't know his status going into this game. Regardless, he's only $200. And LaBelle, I believe, is officially out. Yeah, he's on the IR. So we have Demetrius Harris next on the board. Regardless, let's actually take a look at the snap counts before I jump too far ahead. Max Williams, when he is playing, he didn't play for a majority of last season. He played in week 9, also played in week 1. 52% of the snaps for him there in week 1, and then in week 9, 49. So we're going to assume he's playing out there about 50% of the snaps. Taking a look at the other tight ends here, Dan Arnold played 25% of snaps, and then they didn't use any of the other tight ends. So it looks like the Cardinals generally roll out wide receiver, 3-man wide receiver packages, 4-man wide receiver packages, and really don't lean on their tight ends too much. That being said, I know you guys are thinking, yeah, tight ends aren't really going to be in the picture here. Max Williams is $800. He literally needs to catch one single ball. He needs to technically get 1.6 points to hit value, and I think he makes for a tremendous salary saver. If we take a look at how many points he scored last season, other than week 1, he hit value every single time if he has to get 1.6 points, 5.2, 3.7, 3, 4.9, 7.4. I know you're looking at that, and that's not a crazy amount of points, but he's only $800. I think he makes for a fantastic salary saver, and he's only $800. If he's going to be out there 50% of the plays, sign me up for a $800 tight end. Again, talking about kickers, they make for good salary savers. I don't usually recommend that I don't start out with kickers in all my builds, but if you're looking for a salary saver here, yeah, Matt Prater's actually pretty good, $3,800. And then switching over to the defenses, don't play the defenses in this game. It should be a higher scoring game. Switching over to the quarterback picture here for Ryan Tannehill, this offense looks fantastic for the Tennessee Titans. He is a pass-first quarterback, so he's going to rely more on the wide receivers. So if you're going to go for a captain, I would lean on a captain here from the wide receivers on this team. He is 10-8. He's going to carry a decent amount of ownership. I don't prefer him in the captain spot unless you're playing very small GPPs. I do lean more so on Kyler Murray just for his straight rushing upside. That being said, Ryan Tannehill 10.8 is cheaper, and I do recommend him for cash games in the flex position. Switching over to the running back position, I don't need to switch over to the snap counts here for this team because you guys should believe me at this point. Derrick Henry is one of the better running backs in the league. He's out there for a majority of the plays. 10-4 should be cash viable. It's going to be picking between him or D-Hop, and I think that just be given the over-under and the fact that these guys are favored, I think Derrick Henry is going to be slightly higher owned. So D-Hop should be carrying a little bit lower ownership than Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry should be out there a majority of the game. Switching over to the wide receiver picture, this picture is very, very confusing because we have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, and then who else? We don't really know. Let's actually take a look here at the snap counts. Switching over last season, Corey Davis, we're going to now swap him out for Julio Jones, was on the field for about 83% of the plays, 82, 78, 64, 78. So yeah, hovering around that high 70 to 80% range. And then A.J. Brown, we already know what he looks like, 90, 76, 84. These guys are pretty much out there the same exact amount of time. And now that we have Julio in the picture, is obviously better than Corey Davis. So we can expect these guys are going to be out there for about 80 to 90% of the snaps. Going down here to the next wide receiver was Batson 55, 60, 32, 31, 32. So about 30 to 40% of the snap. So when we take a look here at this picture, first of all, this is very crucial to pay attention to because if Josh Reynolds is playing, he's technically questionable going into Sunday. If he does play, then yes, $2,000 for a person who's going to be out there about 40 to 50% of the time. Really not too worth it. But if he is out, the next guy in line is going to be Chester Rogers on the depth chart. I will prove it here. Chester Rogers here, next on the depth chart, and then Josh Reynolds. Now switching over to my favorite prize pick entry on the slate, I really like Anthony Firkser over 7.5. And the reason for this is because right now they lack wide receiver depth. I know they have the two studs there in A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, but then after that, who else is going to play for them? Anthony Firkser, again, is a tight end, and Jonnu Smith saw almost 80 to 90% of snaps last season long, which we just covered. And I love the over here on Anthony Firkser. You can pair him with Patrick Mahomes over 0.5 passing yards. And that will wrap up my breakdown, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this content. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course, smash that like button for all of our future NFL content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.